working? It's working. Check. Yes.
Checkpoint.
Okay. Today on the channel, we have my good friend Mason Lever. Today we're going to be talking about Christopher Nolan's The Prestige.
Prestige. Yeah, The Prestige, I remember very specifically, my brother and my dad and I, we went to see Now You See Me in theaters, which I think was 2012.
That was a while ago.
And And I was like, that was not a good movie. I was like pretty excited for it, and then we watched and I was like, that wasn't good at all. And my brother was like, hey, if you want a good movie about magicians, go watch this movie, The Prestige. And my dad was like, oh, I'd love to rewatch that. So like we left the theater, we went home, had dinner, and then we watched The Prestige that night. And it just blew my 12-year-old mind. It was like amazing. I say that that's kind of the movie that got me into movies and made me want to make movies.
Oh, that's
I
good.
was just really, really captivated by it. The whole movie definitely doesn't still hold up for me in the same way, but it's just a very nostalgic movie because it was really important for me in that period of my life, you know.
What do you think it doesn't hold up for you as much?
There's just some stuff that happens that's a little bit coincidental. Like, you know, there's always this stuff where Christian Bale's character, Hugh Jackman's character, is trying to like plant themselves in the other one's show, like without the other one knowing.
Yeah.
And they always get picked. Yeah, like for the bullet catch trick that Christian Bale does, he just happens to pick out Hugh Jackman.
Yeah, out of
that kind of thing, yeah.
It's one of those things that it needs to work for the plot.
Yeah.
And it's not organic. Yeah, no, I agree. I remember when they're figuring out how the trick works, and Michael Caine says, we should get a double, and they just happen to look someone that looks exactly like Hugh Jackman.
Yeah, I guess is he just like in the bar when they're talking about it, or do they go and find him? Because I thought that they like spent some time looking for him.
It's not clear. The way I read it was like Michael Caine suggests, let's look for a double. And then like it could have implied that they were looking for a long time, but then they just happened to find someone that looked identical to Hugh Jackman.
Yeah.
Even before he has a machine that allows him to basically clone himself.
Right. Yeah.
So it's like you said, there's a lot of inconveniences. Not inconveniences. There's a lot of conveniences.
Yeah.
There's also like a couple of things that I found particularly strange, like some details for a Christopher Nolan movie, like when he finds out that the machine clones things, and he steps out of the house and just hears like the cat, and he uses like the basic cat stock sound.
I didn't notice that. That's really funny.
Watch it again.
Yeah, it's been a little bit since I've seen it, but
it's like that.
Funny. Oh, okay, yeah.
You know which one. So, what do you think about the performances?
I think they're pretty good throughout. I mean, I think Hugh Jackman is especially good in that. Like, Christian Bale and Hugh Jackman are both very good. They definitely have the most to do.
Yeah.
You know, Michael Caine is good. You know, he is just being Michael Caine, basically. But
I mean, he doesn't need to be anything else, you know?
And then, what's her name?
Scarlett Johansson?
No, Rebecca Hall as Sarah. She's really good in that scene where she, like, figures out that they are twins, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Christian Bale's double was actually a twin.
Yes, that was actually his twin brother.
Yeah. It's kind of funny. The movie is like twist after twist. Yeah. And every single twist is like, what?
Yeah.
I like the whole dynamic of how it's about them topping each other off.
Yeah, they really like there's so many layers of like subversion, I guess. I think it's fun. The first time I watched it, I definitely was like it was a little hard to follow.
Yeah.
But I mean, I've seen the movie so many times now. It's like, I don't know, that stuff it's part of what keeps you invested. I think like keeps it interesting. If it all played out linearly, it'd be a lot more boring. I think that the movie asks interesting questions about what makes you.
Yeah.
And his character really is like grappling with that, where it's like he says, you know, every time I went in, I wasn't sure if I was going to be the one that went out.
The one in the box for the Prestige.
Yeah, or in the box. And I found that idea really tragic because, like, to me, it's pretty clear that it's the one that clones themselves
Yeah.
He's always the one that falls into the box.
Yes.
So the real Hugh Jackman died after the first performance.
Yes.
But he thinks that he has survived all these times.
Yes.
Because he can remember everything. Yeah, it's just kind of interesting. I don't know.
Yeah, no, the idea is kind of fascinating, especially after Michael Caine says, you know, the line to Hugh Jackman, where Hugh Jackman says, you once told me the story of a sailor, how they felt like drowning and it felt like going home.
And he says, no, it felt like agony.
Exactly.
He lied to him,
Yeah. And then you see his face of kind of like, it's either regret or fear or a little bit of both.
He realizes that he's been doing this horrible thing over and over and over. And
And I mean, at the end of the day, it's a movie about obsession and how like obsession is like killing him. Like you said, how are you your authentic self, or are you kind of killing yourself as you go along?
Yeah, I think that's an interesting point. Like, I think that the movie is so much about how different people try to become artists.
Yeah.
And like the Christian Bale route is like he becomes so obsessed with it, he devotes every moment of his life to his craft.
Yeah.
But then in the process, he kind of loses the joy in it. And, you know, he and Hugh Jackman are talking about, like, why do you do it? And it's, for Christian Bale, it's just he wants to be the best.
Yeah.
But then Hugh Jackman's like, oh, you missed the whole point. It's all about how it makes people feel. So I think that Hugh Jackman kind of has it right in that regard. But then Hugh Jackman kind of tries to take like a cheat to like make himself better than he is, you know?
Yes.
He tries to like, I don't know, take the easy way out.
His obsession starts with him trying to figure out what was it, the name of the trick? The teleporting man, or?
Yeah, the teleporting, well there's like different versions, like the duplicating man, the teleporting man, and then the better teleporting man.
The original. Yeah. But his obsession starts there, and Michael Caine keeps telling him it's just a simple trick. He's using a double. And he like refuses to believe it.
Yeah.
And like you said, like the simplicity of something that used to be like joyous or meaningful becomes something destructive.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, like he goes too deep that he keeps destroying it. So from a philosophical standpoint, it's about what makes you who you are. It's about...
Yeah, I mean, I think it has a couple different thematic questions going on. Like I said, about what does art mean to you and that sort of thing. But also, questions about what does selfhood mean and what is personal identity.
Yeah.
And how do we survive over time?
It's complex, but surprisingly not the most difficult for Nolan. But what do you think is the most difficult?
Oh, the most difficult Nolan movie to wrap your head around?
Yeah. Tenet?
I actually really like Tenet.
I do too.
Yeah, I'm
think
a
it's
Tenet
underrated.
apologist.
Yeah.
I don't think it's his best movie. I don't even know if it's technically a good movie, but I really enjoy the fun of it. I think that Tenet is probably the hardest to get your head around.
Do you know what he said?
What?
He said, don't try to understand it.
Oh, yeah.
Basically, he's just saying it's kind of a vibe.
Yeah. That's how I feel about it.
That's how I feel about it, yeah.
It's more like an action movie than it is like a thriller or like a puzzle to be solved. But it's fun. I don't know. I'm a Nolan fan in general. He's become like lower down on my list over the years. He used to be like one of my favorites.
Yeah.
But it's still a great filmmaker.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like he's a lot of people's first reason why they loved cinema, right?
Yeah.
Like similar to you, like he's one of the reasons why you got into film, right? And that's great. You know, not to say that he's less complex for it, but I think one of the things that makes him great is that he knows, again, like how to make a crowd pleaser and at the same time make a complex movie. If you were to rate this movie today, I know it's a personal favorite.
Oh yeah, like objectively rated.
Yeah.
Probably like a 7.5.
Oh really?
Yeah. Like maybe an 8.
I'd give it an 8.
Yeah, I'd have to really sit down and watch it, like trying to be super objective about it. I think the writing is a little convenient at times, like we were saying, but I think the performances and the cinematography are both really top notch. So.
And I will say the fact that Christopher Nolan casted David Bowie as Nikola Tesla.
Yeah, it's so cool, right?
It's so fucking cool.
Yeah, I love that. The Prestige is always going to be a movie I like go back to. You know, like you said, a comfort movie. If people have not seen it, they should. And yeah, I don't know. It's a great movie for people that are really into making art, as well as just people that like good movies.
Yeah, it's one you can always go back to.
Yeah,
great movie.
Yeah.
Well, that's it for today.
Cool.
Thank you for joining us today. Thank you to Mason. We're on our way to see Dune Part 2.
Yes.
Which is going to be the best day of our lives.
Yeah, it's going to be a 10 out of 10.
Even if it's bad, it's going to be a 10 out of 10.
Oh, I really, really hope it's good.
Yeah, I hope it's good too. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah, all right.